Hello, my name is Isabel. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be sewing this dress.
For this project, I'm going to be taking some jersey fabric. I have here a cotton jersey with something like 5% elastane maybe. I'm not sure because I bought it at a dead stock fabric shop and the composition was not indicated. It is lighter and more sheer than the kind of jerseys that I'm used to work with. Maybe it's because it's meant for underwear, because I can't imagine making proper garment out of it because it's sheer. You'll need a fair yardage of this fabric because we're making a long dress, and on top of that, it's going to be lined, and then you want a bit of interfacing, and that's it. Making the paper pattern. So to make this dress, I'm going to be combining two patterns that I'm going to tweak a little bit. So first we have the Kate tank top that I'm going to combine with the Ita skirt. Both patterns are designed for jersey fabrics, so don't venture using non-stretchy woven fabrics, please. I've already cut out the top pattern, but I still need to prepare the skirt one. Each page bears a letter and a number, and to combine the pages, follow the letters and numbers. This pattern is very efficient. There are only 3 pages and only one piece in the pattern. This is the same piece that you're using for both the front and the back of the skirt. So I'm going to cut off some margins, then I'll stick the pages in order, and finally I'll cut the pattern pieces. I've cut the pattern in size 38 because currently my bootie measures 95 centimeters of girth. Please have a look at the measurement chart to find your size. And now I'm going to combine the two pieces of the pattern. It's fairly easy. You're going to match them at waist notches. We need to smoothen the transition between the top and the bottom. I'm using my curved ruler to trace a new line, and I cut off the excess paper. And I do the same with the front. The front is actually larger than the back, which is made on purpose so that the seams are going to be a bit hidden backwards, more towards your back. I lay the pattern on my fabric to cut it. And here you can notice there is like a 1 centimeter gap at the fold, and I'm going to leave it like that. I chose to add 50 centimeters of length to the skirt. This is a number that I came up with depending on my height. I am 165 centimeter or 5 feet 4 tall. For the sides, I'm going to consider the skirt at its widest here, so at the hip, and I'm going to trace a straight line down. So I'm going to ignore the fact that the skirt is narrowing here towards the knee on the paper pattern. I'm also going to cut a lining to this dress. I'm using a fairly thin jersey, so I kind of have no choice because if I don't line it, it's going to be see-through. And for the lining, I didn't add the 50 centimeters, so it's going to look like a mini dress. And I have stuck interfacing strips to the necklines. Finally, these are the shoulder straps. I've stuck interfacing to strengthen them as well. Sewing the front and the back together. So let's start with sewing the front and the back together. First, I'm going to do the lining. I lay the front and the back right sides together and I sew the sides. Don't touch neither the neckline nor the armhole at this point, right? And you do the same for the shell. I'm using my overlocker, but of course, if you don't have one, the zigzag will be your option. Here's the lining. This is the front. I recognize it because the front is 1 centimeter wider on each side, so 2 centimeters wider. I take my shell. I identify which side is the front. I turn it so it's wrong side out. I insert the lining in the shell, right sides touching, and of course, the front is against the front and the two backs are against one another as well. I'll pin the layers together, shell and lining at the armholes like this. And I sew. And this is what we get. To make the straps, I get the little rectangles, I fold them right sides together, I pin, and I sew using a zigzag stitch, then I turn them inside out. I'll insert the straps on the front neckline, I push them towards the side seams and I pin. And also the neckline. this is what I get. I check that they're well sewed. And now I insert my hand again between the layers to grab the end of the strap that is free. I insert my other hand and arm between the 2 layers of the back, and I'll sandwich the free end of the strap at the corners of the neckline. I'll show you the same step when the top part is just a tank top. You might see better with less fabric. So I insert my hand to catch the free end of the strap. It's right here, as you can see. And then I'm gonna insert it between the 2 layers of the opposite neckline. And then I sandwich it between the 2 layers at the neckline. And I pin. And then I do the same for the opposite side. I seize it, I pull it, and I transfer it to the opposite neckline. So here I sandwich it, and I pin. And then I sew. I pin and I sew. I'm gonna turn things inside out. With all the fabric, it's a bit confusing. I hope you can see sort of what's going on. So the unsewed hem are going to curl up. This is normal with jersey fabrics. I don't find it annoying at the bottom of the dress, so I'm not gonna hem it there, but it's a bit more annoying at the lining hem because it creates a bump that's visible at mid-thighs when I wear the dress, which is why I'll make a simple 1-fold hem on the lining only on 1 centimeter, and then I sew it with a zigzag stitch, and this is the result. Finally, I'm gonna sew the 2 layers shetland lining on their side seam. I carefully pin the lining and shell together, matching both side seams, and I sew the layers together in the shadow of the seam using a straight stitch, and I sew with the shell fabric out. And that's it. It's a fairly easy project to make. The only thing is that jersey fabric, when thin, isn't disciplinated, so you need a bit of patience. It can be a bit tricky to handle. Hope you liked it. Check out the other patterns of my spring-summer collection. If you're into long dresses, I show you how to make a long baby tee dress. See you soon and take care. Kiss.